Why smart people overthink. Do you ever feel like your mind just won't stop? You replay conversations long after they are over. You analyze a message before you answer it. You remember something you said 3 hours ago and suddenly wonder if you should have said it differently. And sometimes, the strangest part is this: you know you were thinking too much, but you still can't seem to stop. If that sounds familiar, stay with me. Because there is a reason your mind keeps doing this, and understanding it can change the way you deal with your thoughts. And if you're interested in understanding yourself and the people around you a little better, subscribe to the channel. We'll be exploring more psychological patterns like this in the videos ahead. Now, let's get into why smart people overthink. The first thing to understand is that overthinking does not always begin with fear. Sometimes, it begins with a mind that is very good at seeing possibilities. Smart people often notice details other people overlook. They hear a change in someone's tone. They remember a small detail from a conversation. They can imagine several possible outcomes before anything has even happened. That ability can be incredibly useful. It helps you solve problems, prepare, recognize patterns, and avoid mistakes. But there is a point where useful thinking quietly turns into something else. You stop using your mind to solve a problem and start using it to search for certainty. And certainty is something the human mind can never completely have. Think about a simple conversation. Someone sends you a short message, "Okay." That is all they wrote. But your mind can create an entire story around 2 words. Are they angry? Did I say something wrong? Why did they answer so briefly? Should I send another message? Maybe I should just leave it alone. Suddenly, a tiny moment has become a full investigation. The problem is not that you are stupid for doing this. Your mind may be doing exactly what it has learned to do best: gather information, predict outcomes, and protect you from making a mistake. The trouble begins when there is no new information to gather. You keep searching anyway. You replay the conversation. You imagine different versions of what might happen. You create explanations for another person's behavior without actually knowing what they were thinking. And because every imagined explanation creates another possibility, your mind never reaches a final answer. This is one of the traps of overthinking. The more possibilities you can see, the harder it can become to choose one. A person who sees only one path may simply take it. A person who sees 10 paths may spend an hour asking which one is safest. And the irony is that thinking longer does not always make the decision better. Sometimes it only makes you more afraid of making the wrong one. There is another side to this. Smart people can be very good at imagining the future. They can mentally run through conversations that have not happened yet. They can imagine what could go wrong. They can prepare answers to questions nobody has asked. Again, this can be useful. Preparation is valuable. But your brain does not always understand the difference between preparing for a possibility and repeatedly experiencing it in your imagination. You can have the same argument with someone 10 times in your head and still have no idea how the real conversation will go. You can imagine 5 different ways a decision might fail and still not know what will actually happen. That is when intelligence stops being a tool and starts becoming a treadmill. You are moving constantly, but you are not really going anywhere. And over time, this can become exhausting. You may find yourself unable to relax when nothing is wrong. You may sit quietly and still feel as if something needs to be figured out. You may even feel guilty when you are not being productive, because your mind has learned to treat constant thinking as a form of preparation. So what can you do? The answer is not to stop thinking. You can